Hey guys, welcome to Twin Peaks, Twin Perspective. I am Joe.
I'm James.
And tonight we're going to be talking about Twin Peaks: The Return, parts 1 through 8, where we're at so far. And we are eagerly anticipating Sunday when we're going to have part 9 dropped. And the episode is called
This is the chair that you ordered, ma'am. It's electric and it's a wheelchair. That's what I think.
Yeah, this is the chair. The government's going to pay for it, you think. And then Carl Ross going to show up and be like, "Damn government!"
This is the chair?
And then Linda's going to pull out one of her gold shovels that she ordered from Dr. Amp. And she's going to say, "This is the shovel." And she's going to beat somebody with it if the government doesn't pick up that bill. Alright, so we're not going to waste too much time.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not here to waste your time.
We're here to talk about the 3 major locations that are not Twin Peaks or Philadelphia, which is basically the heart and soul of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Tonight we're going to be talking about Twin Peaks: The Return, New York.
New York.
Twin Peaks: The Return, South Dakota. And something like that. And Twin Peaks: The Return, Viva Las Vegas.
Like her.
Treat me like a fool.
You boys have a lot of the same power he had. Y'all know this one.
This here's my snakeskin jacket. It is a symbol of my individuality and my belief in personal freedom.
Kind of glad he's not in the new season.
Well, Nicolas Cage. He'd make a good old bookhouse boy.
Warden.
You guys ever notice how in True Romance, which was a complete ripoff of Wild at Heart, that Christian Slater wasn't man enough to emulate Elvis, so he had to see Val Kilmer do it in a reflection. But Nicolas Cage, well, he could pull it off.
He was man enough.
He was man enough. Oh.
So where do you want to start first?
Seems like we're going to start in Las Vegas, but no. We're going to go all the way to the other side of the country and start with New York.
Ride the white horse to New York.
Okay, so there's not much going on in New York. We're going to fly by this real quick. There's a glass box that's in a building owned by an anonymous billionaire. Even the police don't know who this guy is.
Or girl.
That's right. And the glass box apparently has a connection to the other side. It seems to be an experiment, a setup. And whoever is this billionaire probably has some knowledge of the Black Lodge.
Probably.
Yeah. And what we have is we have Sam. He's watching the box with all these other cameras. Tracy shows up. She wants to get in to give him coffee. She can't. Second time she shows up. What'd you say?
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Brown chicken, brown cow. So Tracy shows up the first time. Security's everywhere. Nope, can't go in. She's still trying to check out the numbers though. Like she's got an interest in getting in there. Second time she shows up, lo and behold, everybody's missing to this day.
Yeah.
So Sam lets Tracy in because Sam doesn't want this to pass up this opportunity.
Boing.
And I like to look at 1956 with the girl and the boy, and how he had to walk her home and ask politely twice before he could even get a nice simple peck on the lips. And then fast forward to today's day and age of those crazy young kids.
21st century hope.
I mean, Sam says, "Do you want to make out a little bit?" And within 30 seconds, Tracy's straddling him. It's completely different times.
Yeah.
And some people think this might have been what attracted that thing that appears in the box. First, the heavy breathing.
Hot and steamy. The box started getting dark.
Right. And then all of a sudden, this form shows up. And if you pay attention carefully, you will see that this thing's holding a gold ball in its hand. Something golden in its hand for a split second, and it disappears. So if you've watched part 1 and you haven't noticed that, you're going to have to watch it again, because it's pretty obvious. I don't know what it means.
Once you know what you're looking for.
Right, when you know what you're looking for. It's okay, and from the point of view of this thing, it busts out the glass box and just shreds Sam and Tracy.
You hear glass shatter.
Mm-hmm.
They never really mentioned if the box was broken.
Right.
Tammy never mentioned that.
Right.
So we don't know, if that was just, it was from the point of view of the experiment
model. Right. So, yeah, and there were no pictures revealed by Tammy Preston to show Cooper had ever been there either, even though we see that Cooper showed up and somehow he got sent back. Whether the box functions that way or not, it seems like the box functioned that way.
Mm-hmm. I say, I don't know.
People
Like 10 times the last one.
Yeah, people counted it, I'm sure, and have theories about it. So really the only questions about New York that we really have is, when the hell is somebody going to investigate this damn thing and figure anything out?
It's like they gave it to Tammy, and then he's like, "Dutch, you're coming with me."
Yeah, we can't let you investigate this.
Some New York cop's going to be looking through the hundreds of pictures or a minute before the ones they were talking about and see a picture of Coop. But highly unlikely.
Yeah.
The billionaire will come. That's the thing at the end of the movie that gets revealed.
Right.
The big baddie or whatever.
We saw the purpose of this box already, and we're never going to see anything else about it, or we're going to see its true intention, and with that, the billionaire will be revealed. Some people think it may be Mrs. Hausman and her New York friends in
staying at the Great Northern.
Keeping Ben's spa running. This is the only New York connection we have so far in Twin Peaks.
That's it.
Mrs. Hausman. It's in our house now.
We don't even really know. The bodies had to be discovered by Sam's replacement.
Right.
Whoever was coming to take Sam's spot.
Right.
And because they let themselves in.
Mm-hmm.
But
they knew the code to get in.
I'm hoping to meet this person, whoever it is. It freaked me out. My hallway's haunted. I'm always looking for something back there. Thanks. So, the experiment's still out there somewhere.
Right. What's going on? We're worried about Coop, Mr. C, and Bob, and we got this experiment brain-sucking thing flying around, hailing cabs like it's Ghostbusters or something.
Going to Washington State.
Do you want to tell them?
I want a new
Yep, that's right. Exactly. I want a new drug in Ghostbusters. Can you believe it? It was a legal battle. Look it up.
Look it up. What that's got to do with this?
Because we were in New York, and New York is controlled by corporations.
And Ernie Hudson's in the new Twin Peaks.
There you go. There's a connection to you. Because we have to worry about this thing. The experiment model is potentially running around New York.
Yeah.
Unless it went in the glass box and went back to where it came from.
I missed you in New York.
So weird.
Oh, we're still in New York.
I missed you in New York. But I see you're still in Buckhorn, and that's where we're going.
Buckhorn, South Dakota.
We're traveling west from New York, all the way to the Twin Peak-esque Buckhorn, South Dakota.
Look.
And we've got the apartment complex where Marjorie Green forgets the address and the key and everything else, and she discovers the body. Okay. The police finally get in. We discover the body.
We found her brain.
Detective Dave Mackley shows up, and he's wearing gloves, and Constance is so pleased because he's behaving himself for a change. Constance is in complete control. Constance is the hero of Buckhorn right now.
That's right.
She is the Albert of Buckhorn, forensic genius. So she's figuring everything out. She's coming up with all the clues.
She's the CCH pounder of Buckhorn.
Exactly. Twin Peaks: The Return, South Dakota. So yeah, Constance is the force. Okay, we figure out that this man has no head, and probably how he died. And the head is of Ruth Davenport, and the apartment's Ruth Davenport's, and there's fingerprints all over the apartment. From Principal Bill Hastings, who could have been having an affair with Ruth. Or at least that's what his wife Phyllis thinks. Phyllis thinks that Bill's been having an affair with Ruth. The police question Bill, and he can't quite figure out what happened on Thursday. He seems to have missed time, lost time, kind of like Major Briggs did in the White Lodge. He's missing time, kind of like Leland and Bob was doing. He doesn't remember going to Ruth Davenport's. According to him, he remembers dreaming about it. And he remembers getting interviewed by the detective. Oh, wait a minute, after the meeting, I brought my assistant Betty home. She was having a problem with her car. Right?
How Mr. C ended up with her car, I don't know.
What do you mean?
Betty's car.
That's right.
Jack was supposed to wire the car.
Jack was supposed to wire Betty's car.
And he was picking up a car when he killed Jack by rubbing his face or whatever.
He had on one of them one-piece jumpsuits like you wear when you work at a gym.
Like you're a mechanic or something,
right?
Yeah.
You're a mechanic. So I figure Betty brings the car in because it needs repairs, and that's when Jack gets his chance to wire it. We don't know anything other than this. We know that Mr. C wants information from Bill Hastings, and he thinks he can get it from Ray, who apparently got it from Betty. If Mr. C would have any balls at all, he would just go get it from Betty or Bill Hastings and be done with it.
Yeah.
I guess Bill's still in Buckhorn Police Department. He's not in the federal
prison. Yeah, right. But I mean, he would have been
visited.
I really believe Betty, he would come clean, and then they would need to get a hold of Betty to ask her some questions about that night.
Exactly.
I mean, they would have done this already. How many days has it been since
It's been 6 days.
6 days. None of that happened.
Yeah, Bill Hastings is sitting there. His alibi hadn't been interviewed. Betty needs to be brought into this thing pronto. A lot of people think Betty might be Betty Briggs.
And then the coordinates would be coordinates that Major Briggs knows, to me, more so than what Bill Hastings knows. But they said she's the secretary. She knows everything Hastings knows.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they want the information from Hastings. Coordinates.
Mm-hmm. Matthew Lillard's given a great performance as Bill Hastings so far in the 2 episodes he's appeared in, and I'm hoping they go back to him and we can get some of this solved. So as of right now,
he's not enough Emmy time to garner a Best Supporting Actor Emmy.
He needs to appear a couple more times, and then we can seal a deal on this thing if he brings it like he's been doing. So Bill Hastings is in jail for the murder of Ruth Davenport, and the body that's there is Major Briggs. We found that out by the Air Force showing up, Lieutenant Cynthia Knox. But what was interesting is they never told her about the ring that they found in the stomach. I guess she's still there, so we may get that in the next
episode.
It
just wasn't presented to us, but that kind of would have been...
Yeah, one of the first things, he has no head. The prints are real.
And we found this.
And we found this. A wedding ring for Mr. Douglas Jones, who gets around.
So Colonel Davis is making a call to the FBI. We saw Gordon Cole. Pretty much the rest of the episode. He never received a phone call. He never mentioned it. So, assuming that he was calling Chief of Staff Denise Bryson to inform her of the body of Major Briggs. So, hoping, because we'd love to see David Duchovny come back and do some more.
Yeah.
Some more Denise.
We need to see a phone call from Colonel Davis to Denise, and then we need to see Denise get a hold of Gordon Cole and let him know the situation.
And when Gordon finds out there's a ring, Ducky Jones, what the hell? What the hell kind of name is Ducky Jones?
Janie E. My grandmother was named Janie E. Such strange names.
Horse shack? I said horse shit! What?
Do you want me to pull over?
You heard me.
Exactly. Hell no! Keep driving this damn thing. We're going off the rails right now. Okay,
Taking a detour into the woods.
So, well, that's what happens when you're in South Dakota. You get lost in the woods. Do you? I don't know if South Dakota has woods.
Yeah, they do.
But Buckhorn is supposed to be a lot like Twin Peaks. You know, we have that small town feel, and I just would like to get back there and get something done with Bill Hastings here, for sure. Because this is a lot of plot that isn't being addressed.
Yeah, George was supposedly going to see Phyllis,
who's been laying dead in her house
for 6 days now. But Mr. C shot with George's gun. George shows up, let's say that night.
Yeah.
There's a body, there's his gun. He's picking the gun up and he's leaving. He's leaving the body and I'm out.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
Yeah,
but the cops would have shown up and knocked on the door just as a follow-up.
Something like that.
The husband's in jail and it's been 6 days and no one has found Phyllis's body yet, or it just hasn't been mentioned.
No one's talked to Betty about the alibi. You have the piece of flesh that was in the trunk. We haven't gotten anything back on that. Maybe Constance doesn't have a hold of that. That's Constance's job, right? She's forensics.
Yeah.
She should have figured it out by now.
The tongue. I thought it was the dog's tongue.
Could be that, or the piece of flesh that was on Ike, off of Ike on the gun, Ike's gun.
Now you're time traveling.
Yeah, now we're doing the time warp again.
Let's do time warp again. It's just a jump to the left.
I don't know it. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I was watching Eraserhead when everybody else was doing the time warp.
What else we got in Buckhorn?
So the only thing left in Buckhorn is the scene in the hotel with Mr. C and Daria. Apparently Ray got pulled over for bringing guns over across the state line. He was supposed to show up at some meeting with Mr. C and he didn't. And I guess he was really late because he apologized for it pretty quick. But Mr. C and Daria play this soap opera game where they're lying to each other until Mr. C finds out she doesn't know the coordinates, which is obviously the information he wants, which a lot of people have forgotten. Coordinates. He's looking for coordinates, and then he pulls out the card, and it's got the weird picture on it. A lot of people think it's an experiment, picture of the experiment, and Daria's completely freaked out by it. She can't even look at it. And Mr. C gets this evil look on his face, and just loving fear coming out of her. I loved it. But that's what he's looking for. He's looking for whatever's on that card, and he thinks he can find it by getting coordinates from Bill Hastings or Betty, Bill Hastings' assistant. Ray apparently got this information from Betty, and now Mr. C needs to get that. And I don't think Ray's going to give that information up anytime soon.
Do you think the coordinates are the glass box?
It would make sense to me that if he's trying to get a hold of this experiment thing, that he would want coordinates to some way to, and we've seen it, something similar to it in the glass box. So I think he's wanting coordinates of the glass box. But that's kind of weird because Philip Jeffries, or Mr. X, whatever his name, whoever he is, says, I missed you in New York, but I see you're still in Buckhorn.
Yeah.
Was Mr. C supposed to go to New York for some reason? Was he supposed to attend a convention of bad guys?
He's supposed to show up at one of the convenience stores.
He needs to bring Dougie with him. He'll win if he buys them lotto tickets. And
we're still in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Trying to think of who else we got. George is probably, I mean,
hightailed it.
Right.
Chantal cleaned up the mess, so Daria's body's picked up. Everything's picked up. She got the black box too, apparently, because when Mr. C,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, got busted, all he had was a dog leg, machine gun, and cocaine, just enough to get his ass in jail.
Federal prison.
Yeah.
But not enough to give up his. He knew it was going to get confiscated, and he needs it later.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got it.
She's got to have it, and they're supposed to get a hold of Chantal and Hutch, her husband Hutch.
Hutch.
At a certain area in a few days, and it's been a good 5 days.
He's doing that next.
Yeah, he's got to be doing that. Well, he's going to the farm.
He threw his cell phone out the window, too, so now he's footing it. He's hoofing it now.
You think that certain area might be the farm? And Chantal and Hutch show up to assist Mr. C and this Ray guy who all of a sudden became a tough guy. Take out Mr. C.
Meet me at the farm, but come pick me up first.
Yeah, we're not really touching on the warden or anything like that because I don't think Mr. Strawberry and Joe McCluskey have anything to do with anything. I think that's some fun and games there. Mr. Strawberry's probably the dog or an alias for when he was hooking, the warden was hooking or something like that. But the warden could very well have assisted Ray in the switcheroo. So
they easily tell the FBI they broke out. He had help with this guy, Ray Monroe, and they escaped.
Yeah, we may go there one more time because we need the warden to face up to the FBI on this situation. They have to show back up. And it makes me wonder if Gordon, Albert, and Diane are going back to Philadelphia or if they're actually still in New York. And Tammy, I'm sorry, I forgot about Tammy. She's learned.
I mean, if they're still in South Dakota.
Yeah, if they went to Philadelphia or if they stuck around in South Dakota, because they're supposed to go back. I'm assuming he's going to show back up. You hold this guy until you hear from me.
Right. And it's been a whole night since then, so they definitely could have flown back to Philadelphia. The meeting, which I think will take place with Denise, will take place back in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. You think they're going to meet in person? Okay.
I want Diane and Denise in a room together, and let the claws come out.
Oh, what? That would be some insane stuff. It'd be like,
fuck you, Dennis.
You guys thought Denise was rough before. Imagine if that would happen. Imagine if Diane would just undress Denise right there, just with words, of course.
You know, Janie E. would. We're not in Vegas yet, but Janie E. would.
Can you imagine those guys all in a room together?
So we got that coming up once we get to Vegas.
Janie E. and Diane in the same room together.
It was right.
Fuck you, Janie E. Okay, so that's it for South Dakota, really. And those are the questions that are left hanging. We know the FBI is going to get contacted by the Air Force. At some point, Dougie's ring is going to have to be brought into this.
It's just real confusing that Betty didn't get called in by the cops yet.
Right.
No one, we haven't seen her. What her car? How did it get in to Mr. C's hands? What if you need coordinates from Betty? And you have her car, and she's coming to get the car to pick it up.
Yeah.
It just, something's...
Yeah, a lot of loose ends here. I hope it's not a time warp thing where, oh, this is going anyway. Yeah, it seems like everything's connected and we're not in separate times or anything like that. But we are skipping states now. We're going from South Dakota to Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. I think it goes like that. So, well, thank you. Why does everybody sing Elvis when they think of Las Vegas when they could very well do dun 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 dun? It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
That's getting off the rails.
Well, he does perform at casinos, and we're going to the Silver Mustang. The Mitchum brothers, they're going to see the local news of this guy that's been in their casino ripping them off.
See, they know where he lives.
They do.
This guy comes back here, let me know.
Right.
But they
don't really want him yet.
I think they're on a. I think the guys that got the $25,000 from Janie E. were supposed to be 52 loan sharks. Right. I think they work for the brothers, and they're going to show up with half the money they were supposed to bring back, and they're going to put two and two together. This is that same guy that won $425,000,
right.
And then they're going to say, "Well, let's go pay this guy a visit."
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that happens and they kidnap Dougie and Janie goes to the Silver Mustang and runs into Jade. I really want that to happen. I want them to fight and then have to go on a Mulholland Drive style journey to find Dougie in the desert.
In the desert, Thelma and Louise. They just
got him digging his own grave. The brothers is like, dig, boy.
So we do believe the Mitchum brothers are definitely going to be going after
more Jade.
Dougie. Yeah, Jade is one of the better characters. She was to be remembered. And a lot of people think it's going to end up at the Silver Mustang, you know, this final conflict. But you're thinking the desert. And the other location in Las Vegas is where Janie E. and Sonny Jim live. Lancelot Court with the red door.
And we got Rancho Rosa as well.
Yeah, and Rancho Rosa, which is, a lot of people thought it didn't even exist in this time, but it's all connected, it's all existing. We've got the 119 woman and her kid who's been eating on that box of saltines for a week now. And Jade and Dougie were having their little playing in this house, which made me think one of them was in real estate, but I think the 119's squatting, like you said. You've got Jake and Jean, who were trying to kill Dougie. At first you thought it was about the money, but it's not. They were hired by Lorraine to do this. They didn't do it. They failed at their job. So Lorraine got nervous. She called the box in Buenos Aires. I don't know what she said to them.
Yeah, did she say job's complete or
job isn't complete yet?
Apparently, she said, I didn't do it because...
Or she said she did it, and then Mr. C's call contradicted that later on because he called that box in Buenos Aires and then shrunk it to a little silver nugget. And then it makes me think that whoever's in Buenos Aires hired Lorraine.
I'm a good man.
Yep, that's right.
Lorraine's theme song.
It's not Ike the Spike's theme.
Get over it.
Right.
You hear it when you first meet Lorraine. Ike the Spike doesn't show up for 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. And you don't hear it when Ike the Spike's going after Dougie Coop. Okay, so we got that. And then when the hits is failed by Lorraine, Ike the Spike joins the club. He's hired by, I'm going to assume, the same Buenos Aires character that hired Lorraine and then ended up hiring Ike. Because Ike the Spike's hire happened through Duncan Todd. And we see Duncan Todd in the first episode give Roger money and say, tell her she's hired.
So that had to be Lorraine.
That had to be Lorraine. He's like Duncan Todd's like the in-between guy. So he's getting told who to hire and when to hire him, and then he's just making the hit happen. And the second time happens with the red box popping up on his computer. He gets the information to give to Ike. Ike kills Lorraine with his nice little owl or ice pick, whatever he had, and he bent it. So then he had to go to, I guess, the pawn shop or something, get a gun. And he tries to kill Dougie.
I think gun was registered.
That's what I'm thinking. It was registered to Ike the Spike Statler.
I almost said Broflovsky.
And he ran right up on him to shoot him too. Just want to make sure you get him right in the heart, I guess. Just right up to him, and man, Dougie / Coop wouldn't have none of that. Yeah, and Janie just. Man, that was intense. And when the scene ended, that sound effect by Linda, or whatever, just insane. And he gets up, and you think he's going to come through for a second. And then he goes right back to just drooling and touching shiny badges. And
that's basically the last time we see him, except for touching shiny badges. I don't know if that was filmed or not.
Yeah.
I mean, the camera crew, they were
talking
Janie
to the
was
cops.
talking to cops.
Yeah, but then we get the soccer mom and the little kid. He smelled funny. Like scorched engine oil, or maybe the blood of others drenched all over him.
Or maybe just letting people smell. I don't know.
Oh my God, that's not it. If he smelled, it was because he didn't buy deodorant. I don't know what they were trying to say when they said that, except that he smelled, and that brings up scorched engine oil. But there's this piece of flesh that came off on the gun, People think it's going to be examined and identify Ike as some weird mutant or something, and they're completely forgetting that there's fingerprints on the gun from
Dale Cooper.
Dale Bartholomew Cooper.
That's it.
And
What's going to get the FBI to Dougie's doorstep? Is it going to be the prints on that gun? Is it going to be the video footage? Is it going to be the ring in Major Briggs' stomach? These are three things that windows of opportunity. We know the FBI is fixing to get involved with Buckhorn, South Dakota. So that,
yeah,
but how they connect to Dougie,
we're getting close. I mean, we've got all these arrows pointing directly at us figuring this stuff out, and then we get part 8, which brings us all kinds of stuff, and we've been soaking on part 8 for a while now, 2 weeks, and I wanted to do a video bringing up all these other points because we have been watching a film, and all of this is what happened, and we're expecting some resolution to some of it. I don't know if we're going to get it or not, but
New York's about as far from the story as Twin Peaks at this point. And Twin Peaks, what we've learned with the diary pages, is not going to get anyone in Twin Peaks closer to Dougie or Cooper or Mr. C. It's not. None of it's going to. Oh yeah, Mr. C told me where I was going, so now they know where he is. No, it's the world has to come to Twin Peaks.
Right. And we're going to talk about Twin Peaks and the stars of the FBI on another video because there are a lot of threads there in Twin Peaks, and probably the stuff that a lot of people want to focus on, the ones that are fans of the show that wanted the whole thing to exist in Twin Peaks. But Twin Peaks: The Return is actually existing in all these other places, New York and South Dakota and Las Vegas, and we didn't talk about Lucky 7, but I don't think Dougie's going back to work. I think that Anthony Sinclair is busted. Bushnell, Mullins, and Anthony Sinclair may have a scene together. They may have to reconcile this. But if we go through another day of work with Dougie,
then somebody better be coming to find his ass there.
Right. The Mitchum brothers need to be showing up and taking him to the desert, like you were suggesting. But
the FBI needs to show up at,
or perhaps Dougie's assistant finally gets that kiss that she's been looking for.
Well, if we're not going to talk about Miss 18. In fact, we're going to leave her out of it. But if we go back and see her naked, yeah, that would be great.
For goodness sake. You see, there's 2 of us.
No other reason to be there.
There's
time
me,
for
and there's him
to come back.
But sometimes when I'm walking around, they see me and they think I'm him. And they're like, "Hey, Beaver! Hey, Beaver!" And I'm like, "I'm not Beaver." I had this one woman chase me down the store 2-3 aisles. I was in the grocery store shopping, and she thought I was him. He was DJing at a club, and he knew thousands of people. And
she came to the booth that night and said, "I was yelling your name, and you turned around and yelled at me. My name's James." And I'm like, "Oh, I hadn't been in that store in 2 years. I don't know what you're talking about."
They come up to me, "Beaver, Beaver." I'm not Beaver. It's a Friday night. Where is Beaver on a Friday night? He's DJing at where he was DJing. And they're like, I'm like, where is Beaver? He's standing right here in front of me. No, he's DJing. My name is Joe. I have a family. I have kids. I go home every night. I work and I go home. I'm not at the bar jamming.
A lot of people didn't know I was a twin. Came to the club for years, and then he would show up, twice at one place, twice at the other.
I was gone for years in Colorado and Washington State. I lived in a couple other states, and I was gone about 4 years, and when I came back, the first weekend, he introduces me to about 200 people. It's not even a lie. 200 people. And
they're all passing out.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
He was on his 18th shot of tequila or something, and DJing, and the place was jamming. So anyway, you're going to get a lot of this stuff from my brother and I when we do these videos, because it is kind of weird. I don't understand what it's like to be just a regular person without a twin. What you guys are going through is foreign to me. I just don't understand it. You guys are like living life all by yourself. And I mean, me and him were roommates.
We were once roommates.
We've known each other since minus 9 months.
You're a bigger Twin Peaks fan. You've owned the series. I've watched them. I've watched season 2 maybe 3 times. Season 1, yeah, a dozen times. Firewalk would be 50 times. At least, yeah, 50 times.
I watched Firewalk with Me, and I introduced it to 8 people as soon as it came out. As soon as I had seen it, I had 8 different people over on 8 different occasions, and my first wife watched it every time with us, and it was like an event. And I know that I've seen Firewalk with Me at least 35, 40 times. You say you've seen it about 50 times. I've seen the series at least 20 to 25 times. I've shown Twin Peaks the series to no less than 12 to 16 different people and had viewing parties with them from beginning to end on 16 different occasions. I mean, I truly do love Twin Peaks, and I wanted people to experience
How about half of those on acid?
No, not me, not my friends. They came over and they watched the show, and I wouldn't invite anybody over to watch it that wouldn't have got it. They all got it. And it blows me away that a lot of people don't get where we're at with this new series. I mean, it seemed easy, but I kind of cheated. I watched the first 4 episodes of The Return 12 times now. So
I've probably seen it 8.
So I understand all of the connections, and that's why I wanted to do this video with you, to show you that it's not that difficult. All you have to do is watch it 12 times and think about it constantly, and then write down some cheat notes, and you're good to go.
I pretty much watched every episode as they came out 3 times that night.
Yeah,
Like from you watched it once, 2 hours later, watched it again when they aired it, and then watched it again. Second time, put closed captioning on.
Yeah,
Try and catch Billy Bing, not the mistakes, but
you're right.
But
You
a lot of
experience it the
things
first
that you
time.
hear that you see that you don't hear.
Right. You have to watch it with closed captioning. So experience the whole thing the first time. Let it envelop you. And if you want to jump right online and start describing it, good luck, because your initial reaction to these things is going to be completely different than when you watch it again, like with everything Lynch. So I have initial reactions to things all the time. Like the first time I heard Jane's Addiction, I thought, oh my God, another heavy metal band. I just can't do it. And within a year, they were one of my favorite bands because I gave it time. I revisited it.
Like you said, even 9 Inch Nails in this last episode, on your first viewing was like, God, hurry up.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting impatient. You're like, I've waited a week. You've only got 60 minutes. And this car drive with Mr. C and Ray took forever. They just kept driving and driving. And Lynch does it so beautifully. And I understand why it happened. But your initial reaction is, could you hurry up? Could you hurry up, please? Pull the car over. Any other show would have edited, hey, I need to pull over. You pulled over. Okay. And then you go to 9 Inch Nails and it's a whole concert. And it's not 9 Inch Nails. Twin Peaks could not book 9 Inch Nails. They booked the 9 Inch Nails. And
Loved the first time. Second time you want to hear the lyrics, you listen.
Second time you watch the whole thing, you put the lyrics on, and then you understand what he's saying. And then the third time you watch it, I was compelled to watch the whole thing. I didn't fast forward through it. I wanted to experience the whole thing full blown. It's like, okay, that's a totally different reaction to what I had in my initial reaction when I was like, come on, hurry up. I saw 9 Inch Nails twice in concert in a small bar in New Orleans. Okay,
3 times.
Yeah. When's the third time you saw them?
They opened up for Jesus and Mary Jane.
Yes, they did, at Tipitine's in New Orleans.
They opened up for Peter Murphy.
In Tipitine's in New Orleans.
And I saw them by themselves. A rehearsal show at Tips was like $2 to get in.
Okay.
And they did a rehearsal for State Palace the next night. And we were in there.
This Roadhouse performance was pretty mild. The one I saw, people were falling off the stage, beer bottles were getting broken, and I think somebody had asked for a mic stand back or a guitar or something. I don't remember. But yeah, it was pretty wild. But yeah, you have to watch everything more than once. So I cheated. I watched the first 4 episodes 12 times. And I wanted to break all this down to you. It's pretty simple to find. Mr. C's looking for coordinates. Okay, he's looking
Coordinates.
and he's wanting whatever's on that card. Have you ever seen anything like this before? Yeah, I saw it on Twin Peaks: The Return just the other day. I was watching it, and floating in the void and spewing out all this evil. Little horns, and arms turned backwards. I can almost do it. Too bad I'm not a whore. If I was a whore, my arms would just bend backwards like that. So, she's the mother in the experiment. There's lots and lots and lots of questions.
So where are we going on our next video?
The next video we're going to be doing is about Twin Peaks, the town, and where we're at with all those plot devices.
I hope it's not the giant telling Hawk, this is the chair. Sit down.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if Hawk decides, hey, I'm going in?
It's the only thing he can do right now. I gotta go. Gotta get up in there.
Well, they know that whoever's running around is not the real Coop. They know that. I don't know if any of them are going to be willing to go and have a ritual and try to bust through to try to rescue.
A lot of stuff to cover in Twin Peaks.
Yeah. If he busts into Black Lodge now, he's just going to find a Dougie ball. Because Coop's in Las Vegas, having the time of his life, winning and whoring it up, and he's got a wife that doesn't seem to care and has got his back all the time. So we are James and Joe, and this is Twin Perspective, and we're going to do another video soon, and I hope you like this one, and we will be talking to you later, and thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to Rosenfield 10 on YouTube, and check out our videos. We'll be doing more. Bye.